When it's your turn rather, to plan a golden wedding anniversary, you are going to want this next idea. I guarantee it. It's left us speechless in the studio today. It's an idea that sort of acts as a backdrop and could anchor your party, anchor your event. Cue the oohs and the ahs when you string up a giant wreath as your center backdrop. It's simple, but it's large scale and it's perfectly suited for a semi-formal occasion. Best part, you can make it yourself. Floral designer Brynn Larsen is here to share, and I feel like we just need to pause and have a moment.
Should we just look at it?
My gosh, this is gorgeous. Like, I really am speechless. I walked around the corner of the studio this morning and just stopped in my tracks. How would you describe this with your floral expertise?
Huge.
Massive? I mean, what's the diameter? Do we know?
It's 5 feet tall. So I think it's 85 inches it's huge.
Yes.
I had to borrow my dad's truck to get it here.
Thank you, Dad.
So think about that when you're planning.
Yes.
But it really was not difficult. Like, anybody really, I promise you,
hold on,
could do this.
It wasn't difficult.
It really wasn't.
Once you had the base, and that's the key, you say.
Absolutely, the base was the key. So it's just a big wood base, and you just start clipping, and you can just stick it right into the base. You don't need floral foam. You don't need anything to really anchor it in. Like, I first started to try to wire it, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Let's just stick it into the base, and it was really pretty easy.
So the base itself, pretty heavy?
It's a little heavy, yeah.
Pretty
so
heavy.
You're gonna wanna think about how you're gonna hang it. Think that through first. Try it out with the base before you start playing with it, and make sure you have a steady place to hang it.
Right.
And then I would build it on site, probably.
Okay. Don't try to transport.
Right. Just to make sure it's fresh and ready for your event. And I think the key is texture. So lots of different kinds. If you're going to do greenery, to do it like the cheapest possible, I would do all greens.
Because you're going to need a lot of it.
You're going to need a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
But I would definitely think about texture, think about color of greenery. And then even if you wanted to add in some blooms, you could do that as well and just put them in different places. You don't have to fill the whole thing with flowers.
I was going to say, would you need a lot when it comes to florals?
If you're filling the whole thing with flowers, absolutely. And if you have the budget, absolutely go for that.
Because $10,000.
Right? Like, if you have the budget, for sure do that, because it would be so pretty.
Yeah.
But if not, I mean, we know everybody has a budget to work with, right? So do all greens. If you can, add some air plants. I love the air plants just for kind of a different texture.
Like right here. Very cool.
But we have all kinds of stuff.
So yeah, talk us through what you've worked in here as far as texture and color.
So we have salal, which is a very cost-effective greenery.
Okay,
right here.
okay.
There's fresh blueberry, which is so fun for texture to get some little berries.
Yes.
We have Chilean fern.
That drew my eye in from the get-go.
Isn't that fun? Like,
just
this
the
texture.
shape and the texture and the way it kind of pokes out.
Absolutely. We have eucalyptus, which everybody is loving right now. This really fun star fern, which is just kind of a fun, different, more delicate texture.
It's light. It provides some levity to this. Now,
Absolutely.
It seems pretty coiffed, for lack of a better word. It seems fairly controlled. I mean, every once in a while you'll have that fern that's poking out. What sort of maintenance or control do you want to put into this, and how freeform do you want it to be?
You can do truly as wild as you want.
Okay.
You know, you could have stuff coming up, growing up out of the middle. Like, you really could get as crazy as you want with it. So just kind of how it fits the event. Think about that. Think about who the event is for. And everybody loves a photo backdrop at an event. Like, that's like the main thing. So something like this is key.
Yet we're kind of getting sick of, I think, the props and the photo booth. And if it's a more elegant event, we talked about a golden anniversary, for example, or maybe it's a more upscale, sophisticated birthday party. Those photo booths don't always fit. This would not only make the mark in terms of your statement, but be the entertainment as far as the photo backdrop.
Absolutely. I think people are always looking for something like that to take photos in front of, where we're so like social media driven.
Yes, we
People want to see how fun the event was. So having something like this that's fresh and beautiful and brings the outside in is a perfect way to do it.
I want to ask you about a couple more elements that are catching my attention. These beautiful candles set the mood too. What's going on right here?
Oh, so these little pods. I love adding like the little pods, the little blueberries. These are hazelnuts, which is so fun. To just kind of bring in some different interesting elements. And then the air plants.
Yeah, how did you affix those? Those just weren't a stick and go, I imagine.
So these, we've attached some stakes to them.
I feel like you could be a fascinator at a royal wedding. Right? You could put it on the wreath or on your head, depending on the event.
We actually did that yesterday when we were playing around with them. So you can just stick them into the form. And then I also used something that you could just use at home, which is fishing line. I wanted to make it something that you could do at home. And I've just tied fishing line around some of these little
I'm not calling you short, you're just reaching for it.
I am, let's go for it.
Good placement, good placement.
Around some of these little tendrils and then in through the base.
I mean, the character, Brynn, those air plants just seal the deal, don't they?
Aren't they like so wild? I just feel like they're like from outer space or something.
They're fantastic. So that just holds it together, it's just that fishing line.
Yeah, and then you can't see it.
Now, we've been talking about some fancy florals that you sell in the shop and really make it in terms of sophistication and class. Right. Could you forage? Could you go hunt the yard?
You could, absolutely. So if you're gonna forage, see, then you can't see the mechanics on that. If you're gonna forage, you're gonna wanna make it pretty quick after you forage, just to make sure the greens last. Woody stems need a lot of water after you forage, so you can even get your hammer out and bust up the bottom of those stems and give them a really good drink of water.
Okay.
Before you put them on the wreath.
Okay, all right, we have to talk cost because we know the impact. We are experiencing that firsthand.
Right.
The form, how much will that cost you?
The form, I would say about $160 for the form.
And you can sell those, you can give those to us.
Absolutely. So, you know, if people want to get one, they can just call us ahead and order one, so we can make sure we have it for them. And then if they need bunches of greens, if they can't forage, we can definitely help with that as well.
So reasonably, you could do this, start to finish, for about $200 to $300, depending on
I would probably say 300.
Around 300.
Yeah.
I just think it's stunning. I think it's stunning. How long do you think it would last?
It would definitely last through the event. I don't know that it would go multiple events without like floral foam.
Okay.
But if you wanted it to last longer, you could definitely attach floral foam in a couple places and add from there.
You have set the bar. The new party marker is here. How can we connect with you?
You can find us at Blooms & Company.
Awesome, and gearing up for fall weddings.
Yes, absolutely. My favorite time for weddings.
You shine in the fall. You shine year round, as we've proven with this, but fall is your jam. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice job.